Hey Paisano, this is Super RJ here, and today I'm going to talk about the new Tom and Jerry 2021 movie. I made a video about giving my thoughts on the trailer of the film a couple of months ago, so if you wanted to check it out yourself, then click on the suggestion card. Anyway, I am a big Tom and Jerry fan. It's one of my favorite classic cartoons growing up, right along with Looney Tunes and Scooby-Doo. They've become Hanna-Barbera's first ever cartoon they made back in the early days and became the famous cat and mouse duo of all time. So I watched this movie on HBO Max last Friday, and after I saw it, I looked at the reviews of the movie, and apparently critics didn't like this movie. It even got a 25% on Rotten Tomatoes. Really? Is it that bad? Because I'll be honest to you guys, I don't find this movie that bad. Don't get me wrong, it's not good either, but the story is really boring. It's about a young girl named Kayla, voiced by Chloe Moretz, who is looking for a new job after she quit her previous one. And she gets a job as an event manager at the Royal Gates Hotel, with the other manager, Terrence Mondes, played by Michael Pena. However, she gets the manager by stealing a resume from a lady who is about to get that job. She is tasked to host the biggest wedding of the hotel. Meanwhile, Jerry is trying to find a place to live, and he finds it by seeing the hotel and lives in there. But he was spotted by the staff, so they tell Kayla to get rid of him, and her solution is to hire Tom as a mouse exterminator, because of course he's a cat, while Tom is trying to find a place to become a pianist after Jerry messes his performance at the beginning of the movie. So throughout the movie, Tom and Jerry chases and fight each other around the hotel while Kayla tries to keep everything from the wedding alive. From what I said in the trailer video, is that when the cartoons have a basic story, it fits in for a 7-minute short. But when you put it in an hour-and-a-half movie, it takes a lot of practice to not make it sound so boring, and nothing happens. When it comes to the Tom and Jerry parts, I find it the highlight of the film, but the parts with the humans I really don't care about. I also don't like that they put in a lie reveal story in there. And I am one of those people who despise this type of story, but thankfully they don't hammer in like in other movies do. However, my main problem with the film is that the story is random. First there's this conflict with Tom and Kayla trying to get rid of Jerry, then there's Jerry has the ring and the other characters trying to find it, then there's Kayla trying to help out with the fiance's problem with her husband wanting to make the wedding super special, and then there's Terrence keeping an eye on Kayla and the other animals not making the hotel into a complete pile of rubble. And let's not forget, there's the infamous part in these Tom and Jerry movies where the humans keep asking Tom and Jerry to get along, and I am getting tired of that setup. Like I said, the Tom and Jerry antics are really enjoyable, and they're the best part of the movie. I like the new slapstick, and the violence they did is also really believable. I even like the homages to the cartoons, especially because they used Tom's famous scream. You know, the one where it goes. Also, you do get to see other Tom and Jerry characters like Butch and Spike. And yes, just like every other Tom and Jerry movie, they always have a Droopy cameo. Not once, but twice of a cameo. There's one cameo he has where he's played as the Joker, and his second cameo is when Tom and Jerry are at the pound. We see him as a Silence of the Lamb reference, and I'll be honest, that Silence of the Lamb reference actually did give me a chuckle. I mean, I know it's dumb, and it's also really dumb how people always keep putting a Silence of the Lamb reference in kids' film, but they actually managed to make that reference actually funny. But despite the fact that I like the slapstick, it's not super funny, it's just basic funny. But the rest of the humor aside from the slapstick and violence, the dialogue is meh. They made pop culture references, but don't worry, they don't do that a lot. And sometimes the dialogue when it comes to the normal parts whenever the normal people are talking to each other, the movie does get into boring territory. For the animation, I'm split on it. I mean, I'm glad we get to see 2D animation again, and it is clever that they made 3D models and covered it with 2D drawings, and it makes me happy they wanted to make the characters look like the designs from the cartoons. rather than make them look realistic but give them a cartoony look like other films do. The live actors did a decent job interacting with the animated characters, and I find it really cool how all the animals in this movie are animated, such as the elephants, cats, dogs, birds, even a spider is also animated. When the characters interact with the real life objects, it looks believable, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't. Last thing I want to mention is that the movie still has elements that other films based on cartoons still have. Like, the soundtrack is really annoying considering they use rap and R&B songs, even though when the movie begins with a bunch of pigeons singing a rap song, making it feels like the movie is not going in the right direction. But the score is alright, and it even has immature humor that will ruin your childhood. Like, there's this joke where Spike poops in the middle of the crosswalk, and the part where Jerry is making copies of himself in the printer, and there is one copy of him where he shoved his butt on the scanner. But in the end, the Tom and Jerry 2021 movie is alright. The story is lame. It does have the charm of the cartoons, and I can at least sit through it. And believe me, it is way better than the 2010 Yogi Bear and the Woody Woodpecker movie, and way better than the 1992 animated film. If you're a Tom and Jerry fan, I suggest to keep your expectations on the mid-level, and you could probably enjoy it. And I know there's a lot of people out there who really hate this movie, but to me, I am one of those people who has a soft spot for it. In fact, after I watched this movie, I noticed that Warner Brothers had made the brand new Tom and Jerry cartoon shorts, and they only made 2 of them. And it's made by the same people who made the new Looney Tunes cartoons. And let me tell you, it's actually a lot more fun, and it actually is a new Tom and Jerry cartoons that we wanted to see. And I do recommend you to check it out after you watch this movie. I'm going to give this movie the Mushroom Medal. So, if you've seen the new Tom and Jerry movie, tell me what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. See you later.